Yes, well, yes. So we're all going to have preferences. Very quickly, this is truth. I would just like to, for less than 5 minutes, talk about this. We're nearly finishing up now.
And then can we talk about Jesus?
Yeah. So, the two biggest, you could say, tools in the course come head to head in complete forgiveness. All right. There's no complete forgiveness. All right. Truth and rationalization. A rationalization is a lie that the ego tells that you believe to be true. Jesus says in the course, truth will correct all errors in my mind. Yeah? All right. So here's the key. What the ego believes to be true is a lie. And as long as you agree with that, you're going to stay asleep. What Jesus is saying is, you bring all your pain, all your guilt, all your fears, all your guilty little secrets to me, and I will undo them with truth. So here's the way it works, right? I'll just do this while you're here, right? And I won't go into this fully, but ultimately it's like this. Okay? You have truth, you have rationalization, and then we have all of our emotions. So let's say grief is an emotion. Anger is an emotion. Guilt is an emotion. And fear is an emotion. Okay? So, when we experience grief, it's usually from someone who has passed on. So, what we do is we say, all right, the reason why, I would say, what's wrong with you? And you would say, the reason why I'm grieving is because my father passed on, my mother passed on, my close relative passed on, and now I'm grieving. Is that the truth? Is that why that person's grieving?
No. No.
That's her rationalization.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Why is that person grieving?
Well, when my husband passed away a couple of years ago, I don't know, I'm not sure about the grieving process, but I know how I felt. I felt hurt and I felt really angry.
Yeah. Yeah. So what happened? Where did that come from? You believed it was from him passing on.
I believed it was because he had left me.
Right. He abandoned you.
Yeah.
So what's the truth?
But then on the other hand, I was happy that he had gone on because he wasn't suffering anymore.
Yeah, of course. But what's the truth in your pain? Forget about him.
The truth in my pain, actually I did some work on this, and I really got in touch with it. I don't remember now what it was. I think it was, I had abandoned myself.
Yes. Yeah. The truth in this is, who are we grieving for in reality?
It was me.
No. It's, here we have the loss of a friend or a relative. Okay? But here, what we're truly, it's the loss of God.
Oh yeah, that was it. I narrowed it all down. It's like I went through this elimination process. I can't really explain it because I don't really remember now exactly what I did, but it came out to be God.
Yeah. Yeah. You see, also remember what we said earlier on? The root cause of all pain and all suffering in your life comes from the belief in separation. Okay, that's the truth. So you look at anybody grieving in this world, the reason why that person's grieving is not because of the relative who's passed on, it's because they're reliving that moment when they lost God in separation.
It's a tiny little mad idea.
Yeah. We're all grieving over the loss of God, all the bliss and love in our lives. So look at anger. Anger's another one, right? We get angry with people. We'll say, I'm angry with you, you've hurt me. I'm not really angry with you, how you've hurt me. Is that the truth? No, that's a rationalization. What's the truth? What's the truth in all anger? It comes from the belief in guilt. Yeah? Remember what Jesus says in the Course? That every time you're angry, you're attempting to place your guilt onto a brother. So every time you're angry with someone, you're attempting to project your guilt onto them. So what we believe we're angry with these people is because what they've done or what they have not done. Alright? But the truth is that the reason why we're angry at them is because we believe ourselves to be guilty. This tool called complete forgiveness, it's on let me see. I have a little printout here, I'll give it to you to take with you that you can use, that you can actually print for the group or whatever. But I also have a number of videos on this, and if you really want to wake it up very, very quickly, okay, this is the #1 tool in the Course in Miracles to do this. Let's look at guilt. Okay, what's the truth in guilt? All guilt comes from the belief in separation.
The belief we
See,
left.
we're undoing the belief in separation at this side. The ego is keeping the belief in separation real here by rationalizing, and here's our emotional pain body. So all we have to do is keep bringing our emotions to the truth rather than now than rationalizing them. So look at fear. What's the truth in fear? All fear comes from the belief in guilt. Remember sin, guilt, and fear?
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't believe you were guilty, you would have no fear.
Mm-hmm.
So the truth of all fear comes from guilt. All guilt comes from the belief in sin.
And fear's more about the future, right?
Of course,
What's
fear of
coming.
punishment. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see here now, right, this is where the two great forces come together in A Course in Miracles. You have rationalization, you have truth.
But,
Rationalization and truth.
but all of those feelings are usually experienced by the time, you know, I mean, I don't know if I can explain this very well. But the majority of those feelings, the pain, the guilt, the fear, those are feelings that very, very young infants and children experience. Because they felt unloved by mommy, they weren't picked up by mommy, or they were abused, or they felt rejected, or they were made to feel guilty, or whatever.
Made you feel? Or just repeating?
No, they were
to
made,
get-
a lot of children were made to feel guilty. Guilt is, they didn't, you know, nor naturally feel guilty as little children, they were made to feel guilty.
Yeah. When a child is born in this world, is that child innocent?
No.
No, absolutely not.
No.
The child is born with the same mind that we all have.
Right.
So that means that all pain that we will experience in our lives, that child may also go through that same choices.
Right.
Remember, our pain came from the choices that we made. And we didn't make always the right choices. So our purpose now to pass on to our children is to show them, give them the tools to avoid the pain and the choices that we've made in our life.
So how do we do that with our children?
That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write a book especially for
Look
Deidre.
at it differently.
You-
Why can't
Yeah.
we teach
Right.
her?
Well, you look at it this way. You could teach a child acceptance.
Right.
And now that child, right, just, if you want this way, right, three things. If you want your life 90% better within 5 days, and this is for children, teach them these 3 things. Acceptance, responsibility, and forgiveness. Okay? If they have those 3 tools, those children are going to grow up with a great life ahead of them. They can't avoid. Because even you accept, you know, these 3 tools, all right, you have acceptance.
Responsibility and forgiveness.
Yes. And forgiveness.
Enough to change your right mind, so you don't forget it.
Each of those 3 tools will take you into the right mind. And in the right mind, those children will have a great outlook in
Right
life.
into the personality.
Yes, we'll take them into the complete right mind. Okay. Now, I put 90% on this because that's what's happening under the surface. Okay, we're only aware of 10% of what's happening in our own transformations. 90% of our transformation is taking place underneath the surface. Okay, so if you want a better life for you, other people, for yourself, then at least you need to be applying this every single day. If you're going through a day and you don't have applied one of these tools, then you're really saying, I'm still so much delusional here that I'm totally asleep. I'm not having a look around me and I'm not observing my own thinking. Because even if you don't go outside the door, you're still thinking thoughts all the time.
Yeah.
So it's about being vigilant with your thinking and your thoughts. A woman came to me and she said, I don't get out much, I don't have much, you know, I can't do much of the course because I'm not meeting people. I said, you can do plenty with the course, I'd be thinking all the time. She says, non-stop. Well, I said, there you go. So it's important to understand that with those three tools, all right, that life will get a lot better. And I am going to write a little book on this. You
Yeah,
know.
that's really good because you cannot forgive unless you've taken responsibility, and you can't take responsibility unless you've accepted.
Very good. Very good. That's it. That's exactly.
Right.
And you know, if you get a child early enough in life that, you know, that you can say, right, you know, we're all one, we're all equal. Instead of, oh, watch, these people are bad and these people are this and these people are this. You know, the way we learned, do you know what I mean? Like, and about all the bad people and about the evil people and about all of this. You're teaching your child to grow up terrified then, you know, of all of the, you know, people will say, oh, well, they need to learn all of these things. But I think this is more important for a child to learn this, to be more stronger within themselves.
And I think Deidre's going about it the right way in the fact that she's taken all this on herself and changing herself, because you can't help somebody, it's like on the plane, you put the oxygen mask on yourself first and then your kids.
That's right.
Right.
That's right. So that's what it really all comes down to. Okay, let me finish up with this last one, little one now.
Wait, 1 second, could you flip back one page? You said there are a lot of videos on that subject.
Yeah, it's called
Do you have a title?
Complete Forgiveness.
Thank you.
And you'll get them on my website. And I did this at the UK conference also, Complete Forgiveness. So I think it's there twice on the videos.
Thank you.
Okay, so the last one that I want to talk about now is, again, it's just a little, I'm doing